Welcome to the house that Ross built. Today we're gonna talk something a little different than we've been talking about. This is just a little, I guess, sidetrack episode or an additional episode, bonus episode, if you would. We're gonna talk about, I hope everybody took part in the boycott as far as buying things on Friday the 28th. If you weren't aware of it, next time that it happens, there's all over social media, so on and so forth. And beforehand, we'll get on and we'll tell everybody, what the process is and what's going on. But also, to boycott a lot of these stores and these establishments that don't want to participate in DEI, so on and so forth. And a lot of you already are, that I've talked to, but just for the ones that haven't, we have to start doing that. We have to start supporting people that support us, because what's going on in our community is not we can blame Trump, and all these type of things, as far as politics and so on is concerned, but we eventually need to look at ourselves and say, hey, what have we done over the last hundreds of years since slavery to help build our own economic system. And we've done it several times. Every time that we build our economic system, what happens is they come and destroy it or try to break it down. And that's basically what they're trying to do now is destroy whatever we have built. They're saying they gave us something. They didn't give us anything. DEI wasn't necessarily something they were giving us jobs or making it seem like we were unqualified to get these jobs. We earned the right for all of that. And most times, people outside of our community were taking advantage of more than we were, right? So we have to understand that when they say things like that, oh well, we're going to take DEI away, or that they gave us something, that they allow us to have jobs, so on and so forth, because they want to to help us out. That's bullshit. That's something to basically put out the mindset that if not for them, then we would be nothing. We would have nothing. We wouldn't have jobs, so on and so forth. So all of that's bull, and that's what we need to understand. Is I've had a talk the other day with some politicians or some people that are heavily in politics and businessmen, so on and so forth. Which we're gonna bring on a new episode called the Black Boardroom. We'll talk more about that, but and we talked about some people were saying that it's a political thing, and all this is not political, right? It's these cats that are in the office now, they have their own agenda, and their agenda is basically to make themselves richer, to make their boys richer, and then whoever's in their way, whoever they can blame or whoever they can take power away from, that's what they're trying to do, right? Because why? It makes them more power, makes them more money. So what we need to do, again, I don't believe always say, well, if a Democrat was in there, it wouldn't be that way. If this person was in there, it wouldn't be that way. None of this has changed for us in the last hundreds of years since slavery, right? We've gotten a little bit here, a little bit there. They throw us some crumbs, and basically that is like like a drug. Like if you take a drug, you have to continue to take that drug to feel good. So they throw us some little crap, allow us to get a nice car, a nice house, but we have no economic power in this country. Although we're the biggest consumer, right? We spend the most money, right? Our population is pretty much the most, as far as when you break it down. We have the heaviest, the most population in our nation. Like I said, we're the biggest consumer, but we have no economic say so, because we haven't built our own economics. We haven't built our own systems where we don't need anybody else, right? We build our own systems, and I'm not saying that we can we have to be totally separate from everybody else. We can still do business with all types of people, whether it's people outside of our race, people in other countries, so on and so forth. I'm not saying that, but we have to build and establish our own foundation that they can come to us and we can dictate how we deal with them, instead of the other way around. Right now, they dictate how we can operate, or how we can do business, or how what's dictated. That's how the DEI and all that type of stuff. That's how they set it up, right? That's how they set this nation up, to always keep us in a position where we need them to survive. And every time that we do, like I said, every time that we do build some, Oklahoma, Tulsa, when we had that, when we after slavery, we had our own communities. We've had so many things, so many inventions, so on and so forth. And every time we build something, you can talk about Malcolm X, you can talk about Martin Luther King. Every time we build something, and they try to take us out, get rid of us, break it down, burn it down, whatever they try to do to make it so that we don't succeed. But so we have to fight against that, and that's a fear thing, right? And unfortunately in our community we've gotten soft, right? And I'm not saying everybody, right? I'm saying as a whole we've gotten soft. We're so afraid to stand up, just like when Kaepernick took that knee, right? We should have been boycotting football. We should have stopped watching, and a lot of people did, but most of us, the majority of us, didn't. They still went in there, collected their paychecks, so on and so forth. And that makes us weak. That makes us weak. Again, that shows that they still are a master, if you would. Because why? They're carrying the purse string, if you would. And so we need to develop our own purse string, our own money bag, that we don't need them, and that we call shots. Just like talking about the NFL or NBA or any of those type of things. If it wasn't for us, there would be no NBA, there would be no NFL, there would none of that stuff. And if we just hold back, just like when they did the bus ride, Rosa Parks and the bus ride, what people did was when they didn't ride the bus and they saw another African American person get on the bus, they would take their asses off the bus. Right. So I go by these Targets, I go by these Walmarts, and they don't support us. They're basically like, F y'all, this is what we're gonna do, but we still take your money. So what we need to start doing is, when you see people and going to the establishment, hey, let them know, hey, we shouldn't be supporting these people, right? We should be boycotting these people. If they're not gonna, care about us, why should we care about them? Why should we spend our money with them? It's very important. If not, we're gonna keep going through this years and years and years and over and over again. So we want to blame the president, but it's not necessarily the president. This system that has been established and in place for many years. So we need to take ownership. We need to learn about investing stocks like we talk about on here. We need to learn about real estate. We need to learn about having our own businesses, right? This is what we need to do in our community. This is the only way it changes. The president is not going to change it. None that they Democrat, Republican, they've never changed it. It never benefit us. Maybe in a small amount, like I said, you throw you some crumbs here or there. But as a whole, we're still facing the same things. They kill us in the streets. They can take power away from us by saying, "Oh, we're not going to do DEI anymore. We're going to lay off all the government workers. We're going to lay off all these people." So now we're in a position that we're going to have to struggle, right? Why? Because we haven't created our own economic system. So we need to create our own economic system. That's something that we're going to be talking about here quite a bit going forward. Because if we don't create this economic system, first of all, like I said, we're gonna face this all the time. It's not gonna go away. I don't care. Like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it doesn't matter who the president is. Doesn't matter what politics you follow, Democrat, Republican. All that does not matter. You need to take ownership in your own hands. You need to take your future in your own hands and stop waiting on somebody to give you a paycheck or so on and so forth. And I'm not saying that if you have a job, to go and quit your job, or that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that. But in addition to that, learn about how to invest your money. Learn about how to put your money places. Because if you look at the statistics, and we've been in this country longer than anybody else, we're at the bottom of every category. We're at the bottom of home ownership, at the bottom of education, at the bottom of wealth, or we're at the bottom of everything. And that's ridiculous. And we have nobody to blame. We cannot blame politics for that. We have to blame ourselves for that, because we bought into their system, right? And we within their system, like I said, because we're so afraid of losing, that we're not really gaining, right? You got, like I said, you got a little peanuts, but we don't have any wealth necessarily in our community. It's very, very small percent of wealth in our community, and we need to change that. We need to start helping each other. We need to start teaching each other, educating each other. Malcolm X said, you're always going to be inferior if you allow them to teach your children. And what we do, we send our kids to public school. They want to take out African American studies. They want to take out all these things, and we just sit there. Oh, we have to go to public school. So what are we going to do? Take your kid out of public school. Teach them yourself. Homeschool them. These type of things. Start educating your own kids. And if you can't take them out of school, I understand. People got to work. People got to do these things. But when they come home with this education, all this history about George Washington, all this stuff that's really irrelevant to our community, right? Teach them something different. Say, hey, we're not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna teach you about your own people, what we've done in this society, the things that we've invented. Because there's so much out there that we've contributed to this society that they take away from us, right? They don't give us credit for. Again, this society will not be what it is today if it wasn't for us. First of all, as slaves, we built this country, right? And why they say, oh, well, we're this country is so powerful, we're the superpower, if you would. Only reason why this country is a superpower, they had 100 years of free labor, right? If you have a business and you have free labor, that means all the money that you coming in goes into your pocket and doesn't go out to paying a labor or a worker. How successful and how quickly can you become successful? Right, and that's what this country was built upon. That we built this country, and they used free labor to establish what they have today, and they still don't want to give us credit for that. Right, and I can go on for hours and hours with this, but I just want to let you guys know that we're going to talk about this more, and we need to start having that mindset. We need to start talking to other people, our youth, and to start talking about, how do we create our own economic system, right? Because that's where we're at. That's what we need to do. And if we don't, we're going to just be in the same thing over and over again. Years we're going to be complaining. There's going to be a new president, and then maybe things will be a little better, but then another president comes in and it'll be bad again. It's a never ending cycle, right? And if you can't see that, then you need to wake up, right? You need to really wake up, because everybody wants to blame Trump, and he's a puppet, and he's just obviously he's looking out for himself, and he's gonna do what he feels is right for himself and his family. So, but we cannot just rely on a president, a political system that was not built for us, right? It was not built for us. It wasn't built to favor us. It wasn't built to help us. It's always been built to keep us down, right? So again, let's start talking about creating our own economic system. And again, I just wanted us to talk about that, open that discussion, and we're gonna have a roundtable, a boardroom discussion about these type of issues and these type of things, solutions, so we can start coming up as a people, so we can start doing this as a people, and coming, I'm gonna talk about real estate. We're gonna have our stock market guys. There's so many solutions here that we're providing you that you can do that, and it used to be surprised how much it doesn't really cost a lot of money. It doesn't cost you a lot of time to start learning these things. Now, I ain't gonna say it's gonna happen overnight, but we need to start preparing ourselves. We need to start doing a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, changing our mindset. Looking at how do we come up as a community, as a people, and start working together. That's another thing. We don't work together, right? Everybody's about their own. Everybody's selfish in what they have and what they get, instead of saying, hey, we're a community of people. And eventually, if we don't do that, it's going to come to where we're going to have to. Why? Because it's going to be so bad for us that we're going to have to come together. And why do we want to get it? We want to get it there? And it's looking like it's starting to get there now. So I look at this situation we're in as a blessing to kind of wake us up, to say, hey, we've been thinking all this time that we were equal. And even if you go to other countries, when the whole Floyd thing happened, when they killed him, and other countries were seeing that, everybody was saying, oh, I thought America was equal and all this and so forth. And so other countries are also starting to see that we still don't have the rights that we should have in this country, being here as long as we've had. I'm gonna stop it with that. I'm gonna end it with that. Again, let's just tune in. I'd like to also to contribute, make comments, give a thumbs up, like, share with other people, so we can start building this. We can start building this. And there's other people out there besides me and besides my podcast that are saying the same things. We need to start supporting them as well. Collaborate with others, so we can get this going and we can start this. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very difficult. Why? Because they don't want to see us do this. This is why they preach to us to go get a college degree. What's a college degree? How does it benefit us? So you can go get a job and work for them. That's what they teach you, and it's on purpose. But we're so I don't want to be derogatory, but we're so caught up in the brainwashing that we think, and we still have people say, "Oh, you got to go to college, get a good education, so you get a good job." Well, look at where all the good jobs are now. Everybody used to say, if you have a government job, you got a good, secure job. I'm thinking that they think different right now. And I have a lot of people I'm from DC that work in the government that are worried, that are in a panic mode, right? But all these years that we've been, around, and especially me, because I'm from DC, they always talk about, good government job, good government job, good government job. And I've been telling people there ain't no such thing as a good, secure job. You always have the potential, if somebody's writing a paycheck, to get rid of you, and we can see that now today. Again, like I said, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. We're gonna keep talking about this. Like I said, like, support us, so on and so forth. And again, we appreciate you listening to the House of Rossville. Peace.